What's up, YouTube? Today we're planning to do something new. Am I the asshole? This is our first time doing something like this.
And let us know if you like it.
Who wants to read the story?
Yo, this reminds me of school, man. Like,
Yeah,
who wants
Ton.
to read?
Go ahead, Professor Ton.
All right. So, am I the asshole for telling my friend that his wife was right to leave him after he lost his job? What do you guys think about this question so far, without looking at the story yet?
Gives me asshole vibes.
By reading this just like that, yeah. But let's see what the context is.
For the record, Mark and his wife are couple friends of my girlfriend, female 29, and me, female 32. About a year ago, Mark lost his job and hasn't been able to find a new one until about a month ago. And I get the impression that this job is not as lucrative as his previous job, but I'm not sure. About 3 months ago, his wife left him. They have two kids, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Anyway, me, my girlfriend, Mark, and a few other friends went out drinking. He started by complaining his wife was a bitch because she left him when he was unemployed. Except I know his wife wanted him to stop looking for full-time jobs and only look for jobs he can do from home. And they kept the 2-year-old home from daycare to save money. Okay. I told him that no, his wife probably left him because he hasn't been doing his fair share in the house. She's been making jokes for ages about him living like a teenager until he had to pick up the kids at 4. Then he takes care of them until mom comes home. They go to bed. I also know she's been wanting to get rid of their cleaner until he finds a job. Girlfriend and I don't have a cleaner, so the issue has come up. He said no, she just lost respect for him because he wasn't bringing in any money and the rest was just excuses. Anyways, we had a fight. My girlfriend thinks I was a asshole for getting involved, but we don't really know the details. The friends are split. Some say it's true. Women always leave men when they stop providing, and I wouldn't understand because I'm a lesbian. Because apparently the word gay was too confusing. Other things I was right, but I shouldn't have gotten involved. Plus, it ruined the night out. I think he needed a reality check. Thoughts? Am I the asshole?
Okay, let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. The wife was working full time and he was at home all day for an entire year. And despite him being at home during this time, he still didn't help out with parenting or housekeeping, demanding that the children go to daycare and that they continue to pay for a house cleaner. In other words, he was contributing literally nothing to the household, not financially, not paternally, and not domestically. And then he blames his wife for leaving him and tries to paint her as shallow. Assuming that my understanding is correct, you're not an asshole. That guy needs a massive reality check.
No, I don't think that person is an asshole for saying that his wife was right. Because I think his wife was right. It's a different thing if you're taking a whole year and you can't find a job that fits you or that is even is paying enough, right? Because let's say you find a job, but you're just going to basically pay daycare. Like, what's the point of that? But this guy is not finding a job, just sitting on the couch, not taking care of his kids, still paying extra for a house cleaner. Yeah, it's kind of tough to keep a relationship that way.
This guy is like a rock in the relationship, but not in a good way.
He's a potato.
He's unemployed and not doing a single thing, and that's pretty messed up.
Especially when the wife or girlfriend is working full time.
You gotta meet each other at least halfway.
Assuming that this is all we know. Obviously, there are other factors that we don't know. But from what I'm getting here and from the comment that we read previously, it holds up. I think that he should definitely, help his girlfriend out and putting in effort in other areas since he's not bringing in any money. In addition to that, like Eddie just mentioned right now, and also in the comment that we just read, he already lost his job. So the income is already less than what it was before. But this man still wants to keep the cleaner and not put in work. And the cleaner costs freaking money that you're not making. So I totally get it. And he's not even putting in the work, of like helping out with the house or anything like that. He wants to keep things the way they were when it's not feasible. And then a year passed. I mean, what do you expect, man? Like a person can only put up with so much, you know? Like they have to take care of their two kids as well. And then they're both young kids too, which is a lot of effort and energy and work.
To make a comparison, this is like Lionel Messi going to Inter Miami and carrying them because they're at the bottom of the league. If you guys like soccer or football, please check out our content. But yeah, a whole dang year of him being a potato, like you said, not the asshole. His wife literally has been talking openly about reasons she would leave him for almost a year. He wasn't pulling his weight in the relationship.
Mhm.
Parenting duties and care tasks, and her leaving is the consequence of his action or his inaction,
Mhm.
not the asshole. And for the you shouldn't get involved, maybe he shouldn't be searching for sympathy points after being lazy.
Ooh.
Not the asshole. He called your friend a bitch, and then you stood up for her.
Yep, she's a good friend for that.
Not the asshole. Sounds like she was taking care of three kids instead of two.
Sheesh.
Let me read this one. Not the asshole. Maybe an unpopular opinion you stated they are both your friends. One friend was trashing your other friend. You felt he was being unfair and stated so. You did pick a side. Not saying anything would have been picking his side. It's obviously not how you feel.
So I think there's a consensus here that everyone thinks this person is not the asshole.
I think it's funny if this guy thought, oh, I'm gonna go talk to our friend, and maybe this person will pick my side.
They give him the real, so
There's this one. Not the asshole. He was living his fantasy, and once it ended, he had to fantasize himself as a victim. It did mention that he also wanted to keep the kid in daycare, right?
Mhm.
Which costs even more money on top of
Exactly.
the cleaner.
That's just crazy.
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my daughter's wedding because she won't let me walk her down the aisle? Oh, dang.
Oh,
This
dang, it's a
one.
long one. Whew.
I'm a 48-year-old man, and my 19-year-old daughter has always been an independent thinker. I raised her to be independent and think for herself, which I've always appreciated. However, we recently hit a bit of a snag. She got engaged and decided that she doesn't want me to walk her down the aisle at her wedding. She argues that her mother and I won't own her. Therefore, we have no right to give her away.
Solid.
I feel hurt by this because we never treated her like an object or piece of property. Rather, we tried our best to provide her with a wonderful life. Her stance seems extreme to me, and despite discussions, she's refusing to budge on the issue. I respect her choices, but I feel she's disregarding her feelings completely. As a response, I told her that if she feels that way, then I won't be paying for her wedding.
Ooh.
Sheesh. I don't want to come across as controlling or manipulative, but by her logic, if I don't own her, I also don't owe her a fully funded wedding.
Touche.
She can pay for her own wedding if she's insistent on this stance. I'm quite conflicted about this. Am I the asshole?
Edit.
Original poster edited. So this isn't about making the wedding about me. Walking her down the aisle while all eyes are on her anyway, and then sitting down is hardly making the wedding about me. It's about her attitude. She had every opportunity in life so far, and to exclude us from this day is a spit in the face. It's a rejection of everything we've done for her, sacrificed for her, given for her. It's selfish. 90% of wedding traditions and symbolism had roots in things we don't acknowledge today. Should we stop all of them? The rings, the flowers, the dress, the wedding party, the cake, the flower girl? A father walking her daughter down the aisle has been about respect, pride, love, honoring, and father daughter relationships for longer than it was about ownership. Independent thinking does not mean rude or selfish thinking. Being an independent thinker does not give someone the license to disregard or disrespect the thoughts, feelings, perspectives of others. Independent thinking is about maintaining the ability to think critically and form one's opinion while remaining respectful and considerate of others. It's a balance between asserting individually and engaging in meaningful and respectful interactions with others. Edit 2. Also note that our relationship is not weak, that this agreement will ruin our relationship. We are still close with each other in spite of this. There is zero chance of her not inviting us to her wedding, regardless of who pays for it, or cutting off contact with and withholding grandchildren. I feel sorry for anyone who suggests that as a possibility. In life, people disagree, even strongly. It's a natural part of life. We don't end lifelong relationships over it.
Not the asshole.
I don't think none of them are, but I think it should have ended with the last paragraph before the first edit, right? Where he said, like, if I don't want to know her or anything, if she says we don't know her, or I don't have to pay for her wedding either. But I feel like the edits, it was like a tangent of him trying to define what independent thinking is, but it was contradictory because it was almost about him. It was like, I don't agree with this independent ideology that she's taking because she's hurting my feelings. And I'm like, yeah, but maybe the way also you saying you're not paying her wedding might also be affecting her feelings. So it's like it could just go both ways. So, someone's gonna say words, someone's gonna get hurt. At the end of this, it's just being neutral.
It sounds like he's trying to defend his case in a way.
Basically. And I would say prideful for both sides.
I kind of see where this person's coming from. You do all this for your daughter and you just want like this one little thing, walk them down the aisle, and have like a fun day and even pay for the wedding. But they're like, no, you don't own me, so you're not gonna do it. So I think not the asshole, because I mean they have been providing for her entire life, giving her a lot of opportunities. So they're allowed to not pay for the wedding. It's their choice, just like it's her
Yeah.
choice not to let the dad walk her down the aisle. But yeah, that's just my
To
opinion.
me, it seems like they raised a daughter that's exactly like them.
Can you expand more on that?
You don't have to read all of it to come to the conclusion of where both of them are. You don't owe me all this and that, so I don't want you to walk me on that aisle. Okay, then therefore I shouldn't pay for your wedding. Like it's the same ideology, just coming from a different person. So it's almost like she's just as spiteful as him.
I see what you're saying. Basically, what this guy is saying, like, this is one of a parent's most proudest moments, And so
Mhm.
they want to walk you down the aisle. Just like, for example, graduation. They want to
Yeah,
be there for your graduation. And
like a send out type of thing.
Sometimes giving your child everything and providing doesn't mean you raised them the right way,
That's true.
or manners or morals.
Let's see what people say.
I just want to read the
I
comment.
like this one. Not the asshole. You heard her. She's independent. Independent people deal with their own bills.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You don't own her. Why are you paying for her wedding to give away a possession you don't own? Not the asshole, and less financial stress for you. She's 19 and getting married. Odds are you'll have more chances, not the asshole.
Being beastie, what does someone say? Honestly, the reason I wouldn't pay for a wedding wouldn't be because she doesn't want you to walk her down the aisle. It would be because she's 19. Maybe they really will be together forever. But if they truly believe that, they can grow up together a little bit before making that big of a commitment. True?
Yeah,
Could also be
yeah,
true.
that's true.
Oh, look at what embarrassed debate 60 says. I can't understand why your feelings are hurt. However, were you planning on paying for the wedding as a gift to your child to celebrate their marriage, or because you would get to symbolically give your child away to a spouse? Were you only going to fund the wedding because you own your child? Therefore, if you don't own your child, you don't owe paying for a wedding for your attempt at throwing in your child's face their stated reason for not wanting to be given away. That's as much as I don't think we need the extra. I'm kidding. Your child isn't saying that you treated your children like property, but they probably see that symbolism and where this tradition stems from and don't wish to participate. Try to respect your child's independent thinking and point of view, and you shouldn't expect your children to always compromise their principles because of your feelings. It would be fine to talk with them and share how you feel, but YTA for taking your feelings as a reason to not support your child. And that being said, I don't think people should expect the weddings are paid by parents, but if there was a reasonable expectation because you funded a sibling wedding, it's not fair for a gift to be contingent on this one thing that is clearly important to your independent thinker. Maybe you can talk about other ways you can be involved in the wedding, especially as tradition doesn't seem to be that important to your child. Always choose listening and talking it out over threats and ultimatums, and it doesn't count us talking it out. If the parties are only talking to convince, not listening and trying to understand the other's point of view, I think that's what it is. They're not trying to understand one another. They just want to be right.
Yeah. And Bear's debate does make a good point.
But
Yeah.
he's also not the asshole like this person said.
Yeah, I don't think they are the asshole, but I can see where embarrassed debate is coming from. The reason for them wanting to do this is also important. Like they stated, the first paragraph. However, were you planning on paying for the wedding as a gift to your child to celebrate their marriage, or because you get to symbolically give your child away to a spouse? That's important, right? Like, do you actually care and want to pay for it to celebrate the wedding, or you just wanted to pay for it to give your kid away because you wanted to do that. That's very important. So I think that's a good point that they made.
I do say something though, since it was mentioned here and in the other comments. So this person is 19, and remember, what her father and her and even mother, she's so independent, right? 19 wants to get married, but then like we mentioned, doesn't mean they're gonna be together for that long, especially if they're 19. Like maybe she thinks she's independent and gonna have this great life, just getting married, but might not be the case, especially with the stats in marriage around the world.
And now that I think about it, 19's a bit young.
It's hella
Yo,
young.
it's hella young, even for back in the day standard. Like it's crazy if you're looking at nowadays standard, you know? And then like Eddie said, just look at the stats and the divorce rates and things like that. It's just not looking good.
Or maybe she's so independent that is also her weakness.
Ooh, this comment is interesting too. Not the asshole exactly, because it's your money, your call. But die on this hill. Daughter funds her own wedding. Be prepared not to get an invite,
Mhm.
much less walk her down the aisle. It'll be her money, her call.
Exactly.
Damn.
Oh yeah, this one's a good one. Go ahead, Anthony.
I think this comes back to what you were saying, right?
Mhm.
I don't want to come off as controlling and manipulative, but I want to make my daughter's wedding about me. And so I will take away my support if she doesn't do what I want. You're the asshole.
When people say I'm not controlling manipulative, what do they
Mhm.
usually are?
OP, I raised my daughter to be independent and think for herself. Also, OP, I'm not going to pay for the wedding unless she gives into my demands. So which is it? Do you want your daughter to be independent or does she need to bend the knee?
Yeah, I think now it's getting more into one-sided, right? But I think if you fully dissect both of them, the daughter and the father, I think you could both get misleading messages from both of them. It's just that the father's the one who wrote this. So
Mhm.
obviously it's more about him, even in
Yeah.
this case.
It's just depending on the perspective you're looking at the end of the day. And I do agree with this comment because the original poster, I mean, you raise your daughter to be independent or whatever, right? And then now you're surprised that she says something like this. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this person says, you straight are acting out on emotion and a bruised ego. Keep it up and your daughter will probably just rescind your invite and go and see because she will never forget your hypocrisy and childish behavior. You're the
Mhm.
asshole.
Like Vegeta.
Another you're the asshole. I think it's like mixed. Some
Oh,
you're the asshole, some you're not the asshole.
originally, like I'd say not the asshole, but I mean we would need more details.
I mean, I still think he's not the ass, but what he's saying, like they're saying here, is coming a lot from emotion.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you guys for
Yeah.
watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll give you more.
Peace.